It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Nice.
What are you?
Hey adventurers, check out this little snake. This is a black striped snake, although in this area they don't have a ton of stripes, but you can see that little sort of dotted pattern and a little bit of the stripe coming through near the head there. We are in the Yucatan Peninsula and we have got all sorts of cool things to see. We're gonna explore some caves, some Mayan ruins, and hopefully find a lot of snakes, a lot of lizards, and maybe even a salamander and a frog or two. So stay tuned. I'm sure we'll get a lot out here in Mexico. All right, so this little guy is really unusual to find during the day. They're mainly nocturnal and they feed on frogs and lizard, but for whatever reason, he was out on the crawl today, and that is good for us. Okay, now as we found this snake, I want to show you this lizard on the tree there. You can see it right down there. This is a good sized one. This is a ghost anole. It may take off as I get closer, but it's being quite cooperative. These anoles are highly variable in color. This one is pretty white like a ghost, but we saw one earlier that was fairly brown and had a lot of markings. Not quite as brown as this guy, but still pretty cool. So right away, we've got two excellent species to start off our day. So let's keep going and see what else there is. All right, buddy. See ya. Now, snakes aren't the only thing we're looking for. We actually have some monkeys up here too. Check that out. This is a little baby spider monkey. There is an adult around as well, but that's just a little young one moving there. We've seen a lot actually passing through. This is a reserve known for them, so it's good to see that there's a healthy population. But we've got more things to see, so see you later.
Love this beautiful
Oh, nice. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So this is the Yucatan spiny lizard. Wow. And what a beautiful coloration on the stomach. Is this a male?
Yep.
Nice. They're not quite as colorful as the similar spiny lizards we have at home. And he almost escaped there. But wow, that is awesome. Very cool. Now they're called spiny lizards because of their scales. Look at that. You can see they're all keeled. They have that ridge in the center of them and then that little pokey part at the end. Now they're not sharp or spiny at all to hold. It's pretty soft and nice, but that is where they get their name. Really cool. And look at those long fingers it uses. Really nice to see this guy, and really just beautiful coloration, beautiful scales there. Let's see if he'll stay here. Nope. Jumped right off. And there he is there. Just see his tail.
Let me see if I can get it to come here.
And there he goes. Now this is what makes the Yucatan Peninsula special. Check out this cave here. This is so amazing. This region is just filled with caves like this, and sometimes they get filled up with water, and that's called a cenote. And oftentimes the top here will have an opening, and so people love to swim in them. But for us, we're hunting for snakes and frogs. We heard a little Yucatan Rainfrog just a little while ago, so we're going to see if we can find it. But this is really the unique geographical feature for this area. It's this cave system. They're all over the place. In fact, the Mayans used to use them for all sorts of purposes, including rituals and shelter. And so it is a wonderful place for snakes to hang out. It's often a little bit cooler than the hot temperature outside. And like I said, there's often water in here as well. So who knows what we'll be able to find, but this is pretty incredible. All right, right here is our first cave creature. This is the Yucatan Rainfrog. And this frog is pretty unique. They actually thought that it didn't make a call until just recently. In 2019 was the first time people had recorded it calling. Although oddly enough, Pedro, my guide, heard it calling as soon as we entered the cave. So now they don't have tadpole stages, so they don't need as permanent water as some other frogs, but they still need some. And so the cave system, like I said, retains water pretty well, and so that's why you can often find them in here. All right, this is kind of cool. You'll see a bunch of poop here. You can see a lot of insects are moving through here because this is a lot fresher. And this is actually from a very interesting bat that is all the way at the top there. Here, let me zoom in for us. Just like that, you can see there they are. Just looking at this, there's about 6 of them there. These are the woolly false vampire bats. And they are big bats. I think they're the second biggest in North America, and they are known to eat birds. And so we may even find some feathers from the birds that they eat, but these are big bats, and they love being in, for whatever reason, they end up being in these really nice domed areas on the cave walls, usually pretty deep, but there they are. Pretty cool looking, aren't they? Nice. So here are the feathers from those birds that those bats eat. Here's one here, one here. I think that's another one there. But like I said, they eat birds, which is pretty cool for a bat. And oftentimes in the cave, if there's evidence of the woolly false vampire bat, you can find all these feathers. All right, I knew there were bats in here. Look, we've got even more. If we zoom in and get that light up in there, boom, look at all of those bats. There's so many. These ones are a lot smaller than those false vampire bats. These are Jamaican fruit-eating bats. And it really, I can't even count how many there are up there. There's like a dozen. That is awesome to see. Look at them all. Some of them have nice facial patterns with those stripes coming down, but not all of them do. It is so humid in this cave. I'm starting to see some just the water vapor off of the flashlight, but that is cool to get. One more species for you. We'll let them go and be on our way out of this cave. This is neat. You can see this path down this way. Also, there's one down here. I mean, it almost looks like somebody rode their motorbike through here, but this is actually from ants. The ants use these pathways to carry, leaves and other things that they're wanting to eat, and there just must be a ton of them out there, and probably at night, I'm sure, this would be filled with ants making their way out to forage. But really cool. I mean, it really does look artificial. Right, this is really cool. Do you see this huge mound below this tree here? This is where all the ants live. This is the home for the leafcutter ants. And in fact, if we look all over the ground here, come here, you can see there are all these leaf pieces that they must have dropped on the outside. Big piles of them here. And all of those pathways that we were seeing in the other section of the forest, they're in this area as well. They all extend out in all different directions. So pretty cool to see just how huge of a mound they have. This is probably a gigantic colony of ants. Nice. All right, here is a close-up of that Rodriguezii Anole. Look at that little guy. This is a male, so we're going to look at the dewlap. That is that neck flap that they have. What a bright orange spot and a nice yellow outside. Very cool. Wow. So all anoles have dewlaps like this where they show off their bright colors. And oftentimes that's enough to identify the anole. They are very variable. And so this is a really cool guy. He's definitely camouflaged really well for this wooded area too. But very cool to see. Now throughout the area, you can often find Mayan ruins like this. There's a big structure back there too. It's pretty incredible. Really, they're just everywhere. That mound, I think, is part of another set of ruins. And this can often be a really nice place to come and look for snakes once it gets dark. So the sun is set, and probably in about 30 minutes, some of the snakes might be coming out because they love living in the holes and the crevices that are created by these ruins. So it's a really nice place to see it, where you have lots of visibility of any snakes that are wandering about. So In a few moments, it's going to be dark, and hopefully we'll have something cool to show you. This is just a juvenile serrated helmeted iguana in this tree here. And you can see it's got that little helmet there. This one doesn't look to be super serrated, but I think as they are adults, it's a little bit more obvious. Very cool to see that beautiful coloration. And it's got quite the long tail. They love hanging out in high trees like this. It's really cool. Oh, ow, 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 ow.
Finish?
Yeah, up close we can see that it has that little serrated pattern there. You can see I've got a little bit of blood on my thumb. He was biting me there. Broke my skin a little bit, but that's okay. What a gorgeous animal. And this is just a juvenile too, like I was saying. So pretty cool to see. Okay, this was awesome. As we're looking at the serrated helmeted iguana here, Pedro found another anole for us. This is the Yucatan Silky anole. And it is just really holding on tight in the wind there. It's a little hard to focus on it. There we go. This is a small anole, and it is one of the endemic anoles to the area. Lizards like this love sleeping in trees. It helps them stay away from predators that might be climbing on the ground. And of course, if a predator comes up this tree, it's going to make a lot of movement and give this little anole a warning so that it can jump away. So these lizards love to climb up high, and so he's just climbing all over Pedro, and now he's got a lovely look. He's got his mouth open, trying to be all scary, but he's just chilling. I think we got a partner for tonight now. How do you feel?
I feel so glad to.
He's going up higher.
For this baby one.
Nice.
I'm only hoping that he don't bite me in my ear.
Cool. All right, we'll grab him and put him back.
Thank you. Ready?
Yep. Oh, there he goes. Up the tree. Beautiful.
Look, the head is more pointed. It's not to mark the division between the snout and the eyes, for example. The pattern is like a bark. And the develop is small. Let's see if we can show it. And it's...
Oh, it's very small.
Yeah.
Oh, but I can see the little bit of orange and blue color.
Yeah, the blue spot.
Yeah, nice.
Here.
Wow. That's really pretty, yeah. Well, of course, we've got tarantulas out here as well. Look at this nice sized one. That's really cool to see. Now, tarantulas generally aren't that dangerous. They can bite, but the thing that's most important is those back hairs there. They can flick them off at you, and they can be a real strong irritant. So, you know, probably shouldn't be touching these guys, but if you're gentle, you can let them crawl onto you, although I won't try that.
This is a Pygmy snail sucker. It's endemic to the Yucatan Peninsula. You see it?
Wow, yeah. Pygmy
snail
sucker. Wow.
Beautiful. Look the eyes. And look the head. Now it's like a viper.
Ah, yeah, it's a very short head.
Yeah. This is an adult.
So we put this snake in a tree just to get some pictures, and you can see how it moves up the tree. It's really cool. It wraps itself around the branch and gradually works its way up. But yeah, it's able to hold on to the tree just by looping around like that. It's kind of cool. And then it can stick out, find another branch, and keep working its way upward, away from us, which I guess is danger. All right, time to let this guy go back to where we found him. See ya. All right, right here on the ruins, we have a Yucatan banded gecko. They look very similar to the ones that we have out in California. A little bit less of boldly straight bands and a lot more sort of variation in the back there, it looks like. Very cool. A nice long tail on this guy too. Nice big scorpion for you. Got to be careful where you step. We've seen some small brown ones, but this is a whole nother beast. It's about maybe 2.5 inches long. And I think it just fell off. Nope, it's still there. So definitely got to be careful out here. Okay, so remember how I said lizards like to sleep in trees? Even big ones like this brown basilisk like to do it as well. Look at that. What a pretty lizard, and a nice big adult as well. This is so cool. They just hang on to a branch like that, like I said, for safety. Whoa! And I guess he thought I got a little too close, so he took off into the brush. There's actually one other here. This one is juvenile. You can see he's chosen a nice big leaf to stay on. And I'm not going to get as close to this one because he found a nice safe place, and I don't need to disturb them any more than I already have. So on to the next find. Well, it seems to be the night of the sleeping lizard. Here is a black spiny-tailed iguana. This is just a young one, but you can see this nice sort of black and white pattern on the tail. That's pretty typical. So, yep, even all the different lizards will sleep like this to stay safe. He's very well camouflaged too. He's the exact same color as the branch there, and I think he even moved to the side a bit because he was spotted. Pedro has this excellent yellow spotted spiny lizard. This is a male. They have these nice black markings on the side, and you can see those little yellow spots where it gets its name right below that black marking. This is a really cool species to see, and it's endemic to the area, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, awesome. This is cool. This is the other scorpion that we've been seeing, all brown with a very long stinger. And this is one of the bigger ones we've seen as well. So pretty cool to watch this guy. He's probably 2 inches long. So a little smaller than that black one that we saw earlier. But he is just climbing on the walls of the Mayan ruins. This is really neat. We just found these 2 scorpions here, and if you look at the one on top, you can see it has a bunch of little baby scorpions there. They like to stay on the back until they're older, but this one on the bottom is actually getting eaten very, very slowly. It looks like it's just sucking out the inside. It is pretty incredible to see this out in nature. Predation events are pretty rare for me, so it is really cool to finally get a close-up look at this. Whoa!
Look at that.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at this snake. We just found it road cruising. It is absolutely beautiful. This is the Central American milk snake. It just has this lovely banding, this red, black, and orange banding to it. Bye-bye, snake. All right, check out this snake right here. He is just positioned so well for us. This is a Yucatan blunt-headed tree snake. And you can see, just like some of the other snakes that we have seen today, he has a very narrow neck. And so these guys are extremely good climbers with that long, skinny body. One of the ways that we're able to identify this is from this pinkish coloration. There's not too many other similar species, similar tree snakes like this. So that pink coloration and this banding is really what we're going off of, just knowing what's here as well. And one of the cool things is sometimes we find multiple species at the same time. So if I look just to my left, we have another sleeping basilisk here. This is a good sized one as well. So it is definitely neat to find both of these species here hanging out together. But this is definitely the best one of the set. An endemic species, another endemic for the region. So definitely I'm happy that we found this. But there's no reason to touch it. It has been posing really, really nicely for us. And so we are just going to let it stay there and move on and find the next thing. All right, we've made it to another cave. It looks like a little cenote here too. There's some water down there. But at the entrance to the cave, always good to look for bats. Here are a couple. These are the Jamaican fruit-eating bats again. And look, You can see this one has some fruit with it, and so does this one. They must have flown around and picked that up today, and now they are just munching on it. Very cool. Well, another cave and another rainfrog. This is, again, the Yucatan Rainfrog. He has this similar coloration to the other one we saw. They have a lot of really pretty blues and turquoise, so need to see him living in his little hole. We've got more to find in this cave, I'm sure, so let's keep looking. A couple more rain frogs on the root there. That's kind of cool. Actually, this seems to be a really productive place. There's one in that little hole up there too. So definitely good habitat for these frogs. You know, one of the cool things that we miss is this little bat is a lot smaller than this one and these two. And I wasn't sure if it was a separate species, but it turns out this is just a baby of the Jamaican fruit-eating bat. So definitely with all of his bat buddies here, just a little younger. Check out this! Look at how incredibly unique this frog is. This is a casqueheaded tree frog, and look at the unique shape of its head. Now, scientists aren't 100% sure why it has a head shaped like this, but the leading theory is that it uses that weird shape in order to block, here we go, here he is, in order to block the entrance to its burrow. And so predators can't enter it because it basically uses it as a shield. Now he is hopping away, and that is okay because he was crossing the road. He's out of it now. We got more to find. Let's go.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check our next adventure on the Yucatan Peninsula, where we find more snakes, more lizards, and even a salamander. I'm Greg Schechter. This is Schechter Natural History, and I'll see you in the field.